Hello, I'm Danielle Lee, and today I will be presenting a topic that hits close to home for me: the issue of setting screen time limits for children. As a parent, I take it very serious. In today's world, if one were to look around, adults and children alike have some sort of screen in front of them, watching television, playing games, or even just scrolling through social media. We have become so dependent of our screens. It's the most accessible babysitter for modern children. Parents need a break, or they're too busy to occupy the child. They hand said child a screen. But parents, what is this doing to our children? Parents should consider setting screen time limits for the children to help prevent mental illness, obesity, and attention problems. Mental illness issues such as insecurities, violent tendencies, depression, and becoming an introvert who lack communication skills develop due to overabundance of screen time. The child becomes so used to being alone in their own world that they lack the desire to spend time with others. Unstructured playtime is more valuable for young children's developing brain than the electronic media. This was from an article I read and it was titled "Screen Time in Children: How to Guide Your Child." In recent years, the use of electronic devices has seen a dramatic increase among the youth. Meanwhile, mental well-being in adolescence has decreased dramatically. Excessive screen time has emerged as a behavior that may affect mental illness. They're less likely to experience a personal connection, causing communication issues and growth development. The child becomes insecure due to not being able to connect to others around them. And not being able to connect to others makes them feel insecure, hopeless, and eventually, if left untreated, leads to full-blown depression. Children who are more active outside have to use their minds to pretend play. They may be on a swing set in the backyard, but in their imagination, they're Tarzan swinging vine to vine. Where's the development watching videos of, yet again, another surprise egg being opened while you're laid up on the couch? The lack of personal connection can cause lifelong issues. Many of us have experienced a mental battle at some point, and we would never want that on our children. Historically, there has been a strong association between screen time and obesity in children. This is according to a November 17th report published in Pediatrics. These problems are caused due to the lack of physical activities. The child gets accustomed to sitting around, watching a television screen, playing on a tablet, or playing a video game. They snack more because they're bored, and they're wrapped up in whatever is on that screen in front of their face. They rarely go outside and actually play because it's too hot, or they just simply don't want to. It causes complete laziness within a child's mindset. Children have less of a metabolism due to the lack of being active. They're used to sitting around or doing nothing with a screen in their face. The child stops having any desire to real life play due to the overstimulation that the screenplay has developed in their minds, and primarily becomes an imaginary play becomes so boring and far-fetched. Physical activities keep their metabolism boosted and allow more brain development. Staying active is so important, and it keeps obesity under control, and current evidence suggests that screen media exposure leads to obesity. It increases eating, exposure to high-calorie foods, low-nutrient foods, and beveraging market influences children's preferences. Also, the child purchases request consumption habits have reduced sleep time. Studies of school-age children have shown associations between increased screen time and focus and attention problems. A study found that increased television viewing from 5 to 11 years old was associated with ADHD problems in children. In their studies, children reportedly watched an average of 2 hours of television each day. Recent studies examining adolescents' behaviors associated with screen time should be considered for a risk factor for ADHD. Graphics are designed to grab and hold the children's attention, making the real world less interesting. Reality is not fast-paced, happy songs, bright colors. The children are becoming so used to the screen world that they live in and day out, that in real life, sitting in a class, sitting in church, having to spend time as a family becomes boring, and it's too slow-paced. So now the screens have made a child expect something that's not what it is. They can't stay focused, and they become less likely to sit still and stay quiet. And when the child is so used to that then they have to relearn to live a normal, non-screen time. Some may try to argue the fact that screenplay is helping the brain develop more and at a faster pace. While it seems odd to suggest that a screen can do that and improve reading and communication skills, it's true. Ebooks improve our reading proficiency. They also give us access to a wide library, larger than most could have in their home. Having the access to teach a child anything at any time seems like a wonderful thing. However, think about it. What is the stimulation that is doing to them in the long term? It could appear that having the answers to all the why questions a child asks throughout the day at your fingertips would be easier than having to flip through page of books. However, if doing that means you save your child's ability to pay attention in a classroom later, isn't it worth it? Limiting screen time for children is a personal decision. Each parent has to decide for their own families, whether one decides to limit the screen or they don't. Just think, your child is at a higher risk for obesity, attention problems, and mental illness if you don't. Let's remember that what we do as parents today affects our children tomorrow. Turn off those screen time controls. Turn on those screen time controls. Yes, it's easy to hand a child a screen, but don't make the mistake that so many of us are making in today's world. 90 minutes a day on a screen is recommended daily time limit by pediatrician Dr. Tanya Miller and ARAD. Like with all things in life, moderation is key, and when it comes to the children and screen time, let's all take the time to see the lasting impression overusing the screen can cause.